Hey, I think we're recording. All right, sorry, I got a little confused there. Good morning or afternoon. It's a little afternoon, so afternoon. It is the end of week 4. We have here at Weight Loss Accelerator. Yay! I'm in my daughter's room because we have guests, so our guest room is in use. So here I am. And I just wanted to check in about some different things and see how you guys are doing. I had a couple questions folks emailed to me, and so I'll address those. But I guess first of all, just checking in. I've been sending everybody lots of good Reiki, and I've been hearing from some folks. I guess I'll talk about the meditation first. So it sounded like some people were able to download the meditation MP3 from Dropbox, and that is working well for them. Again, I recommend every day, if you can, just sticking it in somehow so you can hear that. If you regularly meditate, you can use it, or just even sometimes I listen to these things in the car, like in this 5 minutes before I have to head into work or something like that. So I hope you're getting some great use of that meditation. That meditation technique is very powerful, the metta meditation. I know I mentioned Susan Salzberg's book in the handout. Excuse me, just drank a seltzer. I always say that, but she's great. She's actually right in Massachusetts, in Barre, Massachusetts, at the Insight Meditation Society, and she wrote "Love and Kindness" is the name of the book, and it's about using that form of meditation and how just ancient stories about it and then newer stories. It's really great. So for those of you who find that really resonating for you, I recommend reading that. And like I mentioned, you can go deeper. You can do the meditation for yourself, and then meditation for someone you love, and then meditation for someone who you're ambivalent about, and then the meditation for someone that you actually feel angry about. And you don't have to pick, the most terrible person the first time, because it is challenging. It's very challenging, which is a lot of what the meditation is about. But again, as I mentioned before, you start with yourself, because you have to love yourself first before you can truly give love to others. So I hope that adventure is going well. I know, and I mentioned this before, but just that it is so cool to have these practices and have them be kind of simple, and sometimes maybe feel a little skeptical that it's really going to make a difference, and then have it actually change the fabric or the underlying. I hate to describe us too much as computers, but just this idea that there's an operating system that's running, and that you can add things to that, or you can transform that operating system so that it's one that serves you better. So that instead of having an operating system that's telling you you're doing a bad job and you'll never be good enough, you have one that's saying, may you be happy, may you be peaceful. And I did the other day, I was totally running late for something. I had all these things to do, and I was trying to, brush my teeth and get ready. And what I was saying, and I used, because I'm always late, so I'm always doing this. So I used to say, not nice things. You're like, oh, come on, just whatever that voice would be to propel me to move faster. Wasn't that kind? And I was saying, go, honey, you can do it, sweetie. Like, just that's what my thing is saying now. So it's still telling me to go, it's not saying, take your time. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be at this meeting, but there is a kindness behind it. And part of it is, and when I'm very stressed, I'll think that, may I be happy? May I be peaceful? Like, it just kind of comes to that, and it calms me immediately. It's, it's a mantra. That's what a mantra does. It kind of loops you into that. So as soon as you begin it, you kind of get the experience that you associate with it. And even when I'm giving Reiki, when I'm giving Reiki to people, and people I don't necessarily know well, or people around the world, when I'm sitting doing prayer and meditation in the morning, that is often what I do, because it feels very, instead of praying for certain outcomes or certain things or people to transform in certain ways, just offering them that blessing is very liberating for me, and makes my prayer much more genuine than a more kind of controlling prayer. So I hope you are utilizing that and finding it helpful. I know I certainly do. And again, I had an example of the, I knew that would happen. My husband's cooking for our guests downstairs, and the fire alarm's going off. Compassionate discipline. My example that I had, I was at a party this weekend. It was, it was with my friends from work. No one was working. Everyone was really excited, and everybody was drinking all different sorts of things. People brought kinds of beer and all these things, and I'm not much of a drinker. anyway, but the social pressure to drink was pretty intense. But I brought my kombucha, I was going to bring a bottle up, but I didn't, just, it's quite pretty, and they were all drinking interesting, fancy, drinks. And one was like a seltzer with alcohol, all these things. And I pulled out my kombucha, I put it in a pretty little glass and I drank it. And when they'd say, "What are you drinking?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm drinking my kombucha." And half of them didn't know what that was. But just that part of why it was so easy to drink that. And then because I didn't have like a complaining attitude, I wasn't like, "Oh, I gotta drink this kombucha because I'm a stupid Whole30." Because my attitude was, "Oh, this is what I have." It made them less. I feel like part of what happens with the diet is then people are like, "Don't do it. Give it up. That's stupid. You're great the way you are. That's dumb. I love donuts." Like you end up and you're like, yeah, maybe you're not as gullible as me, but sometimes that happens. I can get compelled by people who are trying to get me to do what they're doing. But if I'm doing something from a place of should or feels external, doesn't feel genuine or doesn't feel like I really want to do it, if I feel like someone else is making me do something and it's stupid, then I'll blow it off and say, "Forget that. I'm going to drink this, whatever. That won't make me feel good." But instead, because I was using the compassionate discipline, I was being disciplined from a place of what is best for me, what feels good for me, what will make me feel good tomorrow, what will keep me moving forward. Just because I'm on day 12 or 13 of the Whole30 and I'm feeling great and I don't want to mess with that. So what choice would I make for me? So then when you're coming from that place, it's much easier to dispel and deflect, that's the word, all the urgings you have from people around you to do what they're doing is really what they're, I'm thinking of like if I'm at a burger thing and I say, "Oh, no bun," and they're like, "Oh, have a bun. That's stupid." It's always about them. It's not about me. And if I remember that, and I don't think often as women, I think we're trying to make other people comfortable, make other people like us, not make other people feel wrong. So we often sacrifice what's best for us so that they don't feel bad, which is not compassionate to ourselves. So the compassionate discipline lets you do what you need to do for yourself, what's best for yourself, without compromising it because you're trying to make someone else feel comfortable. So hooray for that. So I hope that is going well for you. So I'd love to hear more about how people's Whole30 journey is going. I have my chain, which it gets longer. It's so cool. It smells great. All these different essential oils. I still have to put one up from yesterday, but I just wanted to bring that along because I have been enjoying seeing this and just seeing the time pass and seeing something pretty come of the choices I'm making that also make me feel good. And like I've said, I was eating mostly Whole30, but even that little bit that I've shaved off, and I'm excited to pay more attention. Like, I don't know, is it the soy? Is it the, what component of my everyday food when I'm not on the Whole30 is making me almost kind of just less calm and relaxed? Because when I'm on the Whole30, I really feel great. I feel energized, but I also don't feel a frenzy that I feel. I know when I have caffeine, but also apparently something else. So it's kind of like being a private eye and figuring out, what is it that's making me feel that way? And what's so great about the Whole30 is once you're done and you're dealing more with integrating food back in and food freedom, the question is it worth it for me to eat it? It's not, "Oh, I can never eat that again." It's, "Okay, now I know how this makes me feel like this. So do I choose to eat this again?" And if you do, that's fine. Just to know that what you're doing. So it's almost like you're aware of the consequences when you make your choice, which sounds boring, but is a huge gift. It's a huge gift because I'm surprised by how often I'm like, "Oh, I don't want it." No, I don't want it. But it's not it's not willpower. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, is this whole process of doing things from the place of compassionate discipline is not forcing yourself externally with willpower, which we all know doesn't work indefinitely. It doesn't allow you to completely change your life because you're kind of forcing from outside as opposed to having it generate from inside. So hooray for compassionate discipline. I hope it is working great for you. Any questions or comments or concerns about it, let me know. I'm going to look at my little list and see what else I wanted to talk about. I think that might be it. We've had it sounds like folks are doing well on the Whole30. And it sounds like for some people who are still feeling like they're behind and just getting going, that's fine too. You can always start a Whole30. And And feel free to reach out with any questions or anything like that. Those of us who are doing it, again, most of us are saying, hey, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I feel great. I can keep doing this. And the pounds actually, and I don't know how much I stress this. I should actually, we're doing a Whole30. The idea is you can weigh yourself beforehand. You can take some before pictures. You can do measurements. You can do whatever. And I mean, I've never done measurements, but it would be interesting. I did the before picture almost like, oh, whatever. It was kind of a last minute thing. And my room is dirty and I'm just standing there in my bare feet, but I'm so glad I did it because I had no idea how much I transformed in those first couple months. I wouldn't know if I hadn't taken that picture. So you take your picture when you begin, you can weigh yourself and then you don't have to, and then you don't do it again until the Whole30 is done, because it's very tempting to go in and get on the scale and figure out, is this working? Is the idea, but that's not the mindset we're using with the Whole30. We're using the mindset of it's working because I feel good and I'm getting data, even if you don't feel good yet. Most people do by the 10 to 12 days that we're at, but if you're not, you're still getting a lot of data on what cravings you're having, what is it you want to eat, how hard it is for you to plan ahead, all of that stuff. So don't weigh yourself, don't measure yourself, just keep going the course, keep finishing, keep head to that goal of the 30. And then when it's done, you can do that if you want to. You don't have to, certainly, but they just want to make sure. And I think this has rung true for me and other clients I've had, that if you do weigh yourself, it can be like, oh, it's not as good as I thought, or, oh, great, I've lost a ton. I don't know, just whatever games we play with ourselves that we have throughout our whole lives. And this is actually different. This isn't a regular diet. This is a reset. This is a transformation. This is something totally new. So don't go getting on that scale. And if you have, that's fine. Just, I would say, hide it away. Go put it in the garage. Do something with it so that you don't use it until after your Whole30, which you don't even have to do it then. But your clothes, my clothes are fitting better. There's not, often people have with grains and dairy and different things, a lot of bloating. Often that's really decreased by now. So really, you should be seeing results and you should be feeling better, which is exciting. That's awesome. And I think maybe that's it for our Zoom call. I don't know. I didn't get any other questions. No one has joined me yet. So, so I guess I will say farewell. And next week, we're going to be talking about some different things, but starting to think about moving our bodies. So, and maybe you've been doing that all along. I know for me, moving is a challenge. I've had a lot of chronic illnesses and pain and injuries. So that has made moving be something really challenging for me. So I posted something on the Weight Loss for Goddesses Facebook group about that, just to how if you've been hurt many times or you've tried a lot of different workout programs and you've gotten yourself at 5 a.m. to go to the dark gym to spin, if you've done that and it has sucked and you've hurt yourself, it can be really hard to get motivated again. And that's kind of I definitely I do yoga and I walk, but I'm actually going to kick that up a notch, just to get myself more healthy and more strong, because that's my goal. So just think about where you are at in your exercise journey. Are you someone who's like, oh, I love it. I love to move my body. I kayak, do you have all these things? Or are you like, I've had a lot of negative experiences. I do very little. Where are you on that spectrum? So I will be talking more about that. Think about almost with your pleasure journal, maybe focus on what is it do you like to do? What is it? How do you like to move? It doesn't have to be, it can be dancing. You can do 10-minute dance breaks, 2-minute dance breaks, while you're working at your computer. Just things that help you feel good in your body, help you move and get things going. Great to get outside too. So that's what, in my earlier conversation, I was talking about bicycling. I went on a bicycle, which I hadn't for a while, and it was so much fun. So we're going to get you outside and moving. And so think about what ways you'd like to do that in the next couple of weeks. All right. Hope you guys are great. Hope you are having a wonderful week and have a great weekend. And I will see you soon. All right. Be in touch if you need to chat or need anything. Okay. Bye.